What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Geek Boutique. That's right. This is the only place where you're going to get a recap of FanEXPO 2023. No, it's not. But it is the only place you're going to find these two guys on August 31st, 2023. I can tell you that. Today, of course, we're going to be doing a recap of our experience with FanEXPO 2023, which had its ups and downs.
Boy.
We're going to talk about both. I think it's only fair that we talk about both.
Agreed.
Before we do get into this, Aka, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, it's your buddy Aka. What's going on, everybody? I am still tired. I literally had someone today at work talking to someone else 5 feet from me say, look at Jeff. He looks tired as hell, and he's still here in his day. He's working. And I was like, right here. What do you mean? So apparently... Your boy.
Apparently, you look tired as hell.
Your boy looks tired. And you know what? It's fair because he is. But I mean, you know, what are you going to do? But
no, I get it. I've been the same boat, bud.
Yeah, that's right.
I've been like on slow motion all week.
Let's get ready to rumble. I just want to say, I know you guys weren't super happy about your spot, but as someone who sometimes needs a corner or quiet space to decompress, I enjoyed your space. Megan, I'm actually going to address that very thing that you're just saying there. Interestingly enough, that you bring that up. So yes, we are going to talk about all of that, guys. It's not going to be all doom and gloom. We are, of course, going to highlight everything that we loved about this past weekend. It wasn't all just us sitting in a corner crying because nobody puts baby in a corner, but we are going to address the elephant in the room, of course. We'd be remiss in our duties as podcast host not to, as far as that goes. It is definitely the elephant in the room. But having said that, JS,
yes,
we are Thursday, so we are like 4 days post now. Where are you at on the Can you feel your back still? Is everything like good right now? Or are you?
Yeah, we actually went to the gym yesterday.
Oh, good.
And you know, like physically, I'm okay. I let's be honest, I didn't wear Doc Ock. That helps a lot.
That's fair.
I spent my Sunday in my running shoes. I wore Jason with my blue running shoes all day because it was like, fuck this. Like I'm not doing boots all day long again because my feet were just like Saturday night. I think we were all actually you passed out before we even got back to the room.
You're damn right I did.
And my feet were so bad. Like it was ridiculous. Red Moon Glassworks, hello.
Hi, Stephanie. Good to see you. Our little friend Natasha there. I love all you geeks, and we, of course, love you too,
hello, Natasha.
Jamie C. saying, oi, where are Jen, Robin, Megatron? Well, Jen is in the background, so she'll be showing you images that we're going to reference today. She chose not to be on camera today, as she chooses 99 times out of 100. Rob and Megan, we gave them the option of being on, and I believe the response was not just no, but hell no.
Yeah, it was like, on the what now?
Yeah, we're good. Thanks. We've done our bit for King and Country on this. So, Peter saying honesty is the best policy. Absolutely. We are going to remain respectful, but we are definitely going to tell our side of why we were there and what happened. Stephanie saying, yep, I'm still exhausted. Well, weren't you vending and cosplaying? I mean, come on, Stephanie, pick one. That's crazy. You can't do that.
Did we end up? We never ended up going by her booth, did we?
I don't think we did, but she definitely came. She came down to see us, I think on DC Day, if I'm not mistaken. She came as Sedana. So,
yes, that's right.
Yes.
That's right.
Everything hurts, and I caught some kind of common plague. You were not the only one. I got a message today from someone that caught strep.
Fun.
Yep, super fun. Our boy Steven saying tri-stilts. Yes. Well, I mean, that's.
At least you're wearing running shoes in your stilts.
That's true. He is. Yeah. Just a free tip: freeze a water bottle and use it to rub your feet. It'll help, boys. You know what? I know this guy that's a professional rubber of things, so I think I'll just get him to rub my feet for me and pay him handsomely for it. Right, Steven? Love you, Rob. That's my life going on all cylinders. Hey, Stephanie, we appreciate.
I think we need a Steven at all our cons, in the back room with.
Yeah, why don't we just have him at the booth and just like rubbing us down in between?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like fuck Groot, like just
yeah. No. Groot's great, but I mean, honestly, we don't need a Groot. We need a massage therapist while we're there at the con. What's he cosplaying as? Our massage therapist. That's what he's cosplaying.
Oh God, we are too old for this, man. We are getting too old for this.
We are getting.
How about you let us in on your initial thoughts of the weekend? I mean, obviously we had a good time, right? You can't deny.
There's no question that we had a good time. It's 4 days. It's still FanEXPO. And I've said this to these guys before too. When all of this was kind of happening and all the different things were kind of coming in and out as far as what was going to be happening, what wasn't. I kept on trying to intimate to my friends in the Geeks and Company. I go to 4 days. I'm like Michael. Michael Myers, that is. I go 4 days to FanEXPO regardless. I've been going to FanEXPO 4 days since 2016. It's just what I'm going to do. I'm going to get a hotel and I'm going to go for 4 days. It doesn't matter in what capacity. So you know what? I got a hotel and I went for 4 days. And in this case, I got a hotel with all of my very good friends that I really only get to see 3 or 4 times a year. And then I got to spend those 4 days with those same very good friends. What's not to love? Right? And I said that going in. I said that was what I was looking forward to the most, was getting to spend the weekend with you guys. And I did, despite the fact that I passed out super early on Saturday night because I'm an old done man.
And you missed like the hangout on the they had a porch. There's a patio the whole length of our Airbnb.
I did see that.
And we hung out there till like, I don't know, midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning drinking that night.
Yeah.
Where you were passed out and we didn't want to bug you.
Super not built to be up till midnight or 1 o'clock that night. I'll tell you that.
We had a great time out there, just having a couple drinks and hanging out.
Oh, there we go. So Geek Massage, only $90 an hour. I've got benefits. That's fine. That's fine. And poor Stephanie here. She's organizing for Ottawa and Edmonton while doing some 3D prints.
Wow. And Ottawa is like next weekend, isn't it?
Take a breath. Myers Corp saying Jeff gets it. I mean, Michael, I feel like we're cut from the same cloth as far as the cosplay life goes. This was Keith's first 4 days, though. It warmed me up, but it was great, especially hanging with all you guys. Yeah, Keith was in the room a lot, so that's
right. He was there every single day. Yeah.
So we appreciate you, Keith, coming out and supporting the Geeks and Company. We understand, guys. It's a huge show. You can't just be hanging out with us in a room the whole time. You want to experience the con as a whole. Which, again, if I have one regret that's not to do with all the the shenanigans and wherewithal, it would be that I didn't get to see more of the con based on where we were at. Right, it made it more difficult to go out and wander the con even at 9 or 9:30. I know the one day on Friday we went over to the Ahsoka booth in the South Building, so we got to see a little bit of that. And then I know when we did the podcast the same Friday, we went over to the South Building again just to show people, but we didn't really get a chance to like browse the areas.
No.
So I know there's a huge chunk of the con that I didn't get to see.
Mm-hmm.
Having said that, I also got to be at a booth with my family and got to entertain tens of people. So I mean, that made it a lot better than so yeah, it's definitely like a give and take. Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah, I know.
I'm gonna cry for the wrong reasons
on the 10th and the 23rd, so keeping my next couple close to home. That's good. Yeah. And Andrew hit his high points. But he still feels like he missed a lot. I feel like that's almost every single time when it comes to FanEXPO is you just can't see it all.
No,
right? It's such a huge show.
Sure. I mean, so for the people that don't go to FanEXPO regularly, like for example, my sister came with my niece and my nephew, and they were really only there for the one day because they drove up on Friday. They spent the day at the con on Saturday, and then they drove back to Quebec on Sunday.
Mm.
They only had the one day, and they tried to do the back and forth a couple times, and they also only really got to scratch the surface.
Well,
they didn't get to attend any panels. They didn't go to any of the events. They didn't see the masquerade. They didn't,
because your sister was too busy flirting with me. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. Our boy Brent Pritchard, Ben jamming Comic-Con. So there's his link. So Ben was in the room quite a bit over the weekend too, taking shots of all of us throughout the whole thing. So I don't know I know he had literally thousands of pictures to go through before he's posting, but check out Ben's stuff.
For the people that are listening in on this podcast, www.facebook.com/photos by Benjamin Comic-Con.
Look at this ne'er-do-well that's
wandered
into our
this nerd in. What's up, kid?
This web of exactly. Kid Remington, guys, from Can Cosplay Cards was sharing the room with us at FanEXPO this year, and one of the high points of what made being in that room very, very fun and very, very cool. Kid, along with Canadian Comic Cutie, really helped up the game. No slight to our boy Sean Ward, love him to pieces. Same with Cybertronic Spree, but they were hardly there. Occasionally they had people like manning their booth, but those personalities, I think I saw the Cybertronic Spree. I think I saw one of them one time,
At the end
And
of the
then
day.
Sean was kind of floating in and out every now and then, but
Yeah.
collectively, if he spent 2 hours in the room as a whole throughout the whole weekend, I would be shocked. So it really was just us, Kid, and Cutie. That was kind of our gang as far as that goes. Sean,
Yeah.
Sean who? Yeah, that's cute.
You also had Chantal and Becca helping out of their booth as well.
Right. Yes. Yes.
So they were there all weekend as well.
But
We're
it felt
actually
like
talking
Cutie.
about
It felt
all
like
of
Cutie
them.
never left. I don't think Cutie saw any of that con because every time we were in that room, she was at that table.
Yeah, I don't feel like she left that table very much at all.
No.
And I don't know if it's okay for me to discuss this or not, but Cutie is also basically the one behind the Can Cosplay Cards social media.
Right.
So she was constantly doing stuff, right? She was constantly doing stuff.
See, this is the Kid. This is the part where we don't
Yeah.
say out loud. We keep that like we have an inside voice and we have an outside voice, and we don't say she was chained down outside. That's people get upset. Can't say stuff like that. Although knowing Cutie, she probably enjoy that. What was Ooh, we're slowly skyrocketing for PG-13 and some very dangerous ground.
Yeah.
Oh, and here I think, and I've been flirting with KR. Yeah. What's so give us your initial impressions, because I am gonna, guys, I need you to be prepared. There is going to be a sizable rant, and I'm going to remain respectful, but there's some stuff we got to get off our chest. There's some stuff you guys probably aren't privy to that you don't know, and it's going to be a little bit of inside baseball, like a little bit of how the sausage is made, but you're not going to learn anything that's not true, that didn't actually happen. And we want you guys to know how we went from being literally the toast of the con last year to, you know, in a corner in the basement this year. So I think it's important for you guys to kind of see the steps that led to that. But regardless, JS, what were your impressions of the con overall?
I feel like, and maybe this is again a side effect of us not being able to really see the whole con. I feel like it wasn't as busy as it was last year. I'm very curious to see the numbers. I know it got real busy on Saturday. Saturday is when they shut down the bridge, right? You couldn't get between the two buildings unless you went outside. And if you went outside, you risked not going back in unless you had programming or exhibitor passes.
Do you feel our impression of it being less busy is because we were in a far less busy area for?
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean,
of the time, right?
It could partly be that, yes. It also, I'm sure, has to do with the fact that the aisles were much larger this year. One of our biggest complaint we had for Toronto Comic Con was, man, the aisles are too small.
Yeah, well,
that's we're getting herded through the aisles right
Yeah.
now. The aisles were much larger, which again, from the stuff that I have heard, may have a big part to do with where we were actually set up.
Right.
We'll perhaps touch on that a little bit as well, because I don't know if there's any truth to that. But they did make the aisles much bigger, which at least you could walk the con, right? Like on a Saturday afternoon, usually you can't walk the con. You're just following the flow of traffic, right?
Sure. No, fair.
So that was good. I think I said it on the technical difficulties pre-show. For me, I think the highlight of my weekend was the people, getting to hang out with everybody, having my actual family come to the con and see what we do. All the people that, you know, we've been talking with online all this time that we never got to meet in person, that we got to meet in person. You know, like Megan and Peter. I'm sure there's a bunch of people.
No, there's a million. There's a million.
That, you know, that for me, I think was my real highlight. I didn't get to hang out with you guys. Right. Barely get to actually, like, we do this every week, but
hanging out, we don't really get to do that.
Very rarely. Now we'll get to hang out again in 2 weeks.
No, I know, and then 2 weeks after that,
weeks after that, but then we won't see each other again for like a year, right?
Right. The cool part here, though, guys, is you would think, especially since we don't spend a lot of time live in person, that by the fourth day we'd all be looking at each other like, "Is this fucking over yet? I'm sick of you people." But I don't know about you. I never hit that point with you guys. It was fantastic. The whole time getting to hang out with you guys was the best part.
Yeah.
And apparently it was for Canadian Comic Cutie here too, because she's
you know, I love hanging out with Cute as well. I mean, she's fantastic. She really, you know,
she brings the energy, man. Like there's no question she brings the energy for sure.
one of the things we right up front had decided we were going to do when we knew we were going to be in this room is we were going to up the energy. We were going to throw a party. The music was going to be cranking. And I mean, she was a big part of that. I
100%. 100%. Michael makes a good point too here, by the way. From an accessibility perspective, the wider aisles were amazing for folks that require the additional room to move. One of the many benefits for having the wider aisles. And guys, I think FanEXPO is going to spoil us a little bit on that, because I'm fairly certain once we get back to Toronto Comic Con in March, when it's back into one building and it's the North building again, I think you're going to be back to squeezing in them little, because wider aisles means fewer vendors, and that's not what they're all about, especially when they've got the whole show in one building. So you saw what it was like last year. Again, I'm not trying to disparage or whatever, but I have a feeling we're going to be back to the skinny aisles come Toronto Comic Con, unfortunately.
Guys, before we actually move on to the rest of this here, I see there's a bunch of people watching now. Guys, please take 2 seconds, click that like button. It really helps us out, helps propagate us through the YouTube sphere. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, what are you even doing? We've got a bunch of new content coming out over the next little while. We've got a recap video for FanEXPO. We've got a whole new after show if we actually get to filming it.
It's only 3 episodes in so far. It's fine.
Episodes in, right?
That's fine.
So, guys, make sure you click that subscribe button. You don't want to miss when we upload. Click the notification bell. It'll also let you know every time we go live.
You bet your sweet French ass.
So,
I don't know whose playlist that was, but Hanson and Busted Made My Life, Megan. That would be Miss Producer Jen's playlist.
Yeah, she put those together. Yeah. She put all those playlists together. Saturday, I think it was Friday or Saturday, and Sean like walks into the room with a purpose, and he's like, "Hey," he's like, "Did you hear? Did I hear what?" He's like, "Why? Like we're all shoved in here." I'm like, "What do you mean?" Apparently, FanEXPO got told, "Yeah, no, you can't do aisles like that anymore. Like you need to widen those aisles. That's not legal." So they had to comply, and I heard that over 80 paying vendors ended up with basically no space, because now the show is that much smaller because they had to make those aisles that much bigger.
Super doesn't compute to why we were there. And we're going to talk about that, guys, comparatively to some of the other community booths that we got a chance to see and interact with over the course of the con. Again, we're not going to be shitty. We're going to be respectful, but
yeah, nothing against them at all.
No. But at the end of the day, this is kind of a two-way street. We benefit from being there because we get to interact with all of you, and we get to essentially increase our brand awareness and increase likes and subscribers and follows and people wanting us to be at their show and everything else. And FanEXPO gets to have us there. And if there is a better spot or a better group in there that is building community more than us, I don't know who it is. We're not locked into a particular genre like the 501st or the 405th or the Steampunk Society or any of the other ones that are, even Doctor Who. We love all those people. We love all their booths, but they're really just putting together one genre, one IP, and they're celebrating that IP, and they do it better than anybody. But we celebrate the whole damn thing, and we try to invite you guys in to celebrate it with us. And in so doing, we build that community. Do you think anybody buys a 4-day ticket to FanEXPO because they want to go to the Amazon Prime booth all 4 days? No, they go for 4 days because of the community being built. So they get to hang out with their friends and do cool shit with their friends and have a party with their friends and cosplay with their friends. And those friends need a spot to mingle and hang out with. And that's what community is all about. And that's what we bring. And that's what a lot of the community booths bring. We're hardly, we're not alone in that. But this year, they decided our community was best served down the stairs, down the hall, and in a room around in a corner. And I don't know. Is it time to rant about this? Because, hey, there's us, Club Cosplay. This is us going in. So this is, as you're going in, if you didn't go this year, as you're going into the North building, you go down the escalator. So not on the main floor, but down the escalator. You go right towards the cosplay red carpet. You go past the red carpet and down the hall. And it was the second room on the left. The first room is what FanEXPO was using for their offices or administrative or what have you. So,
which is also weird that they would put themselves in the first spot there and everything else after them. It's like, do you guys really need to be like right at the front?
I think they knew because they had the red carpet on that facing wall that they wouldn't be taking that wall down regardless. So that was probably the only real spot for
Fair
them to
enough.
have like an enclosed room that they
Mhm.
could use, other than like being up in the hotel where they put the press room or whatever, which I'm kind of surprised that's not where they were. But regardless.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah. Wayne, our friend Wayne Cuffey, saying the pros of the con, meeting new people and seeing all my peeps. It's like a family reunion. Much love to all you guys at Geeks
Yes.
and Co. I think we can all agree.
That's
I don't
right.
think any of us are going to complain about meeting everybody, getting to interact with everybody, having everybody that found us out to the booth where we were. But yeah, I guess we should probably, I don't know. Do you want to start as far as addressing the elephant in the room? Like what happened? Because I know what there was two things specifically that got me is that had bothered me about this whole thing. And it wasn't even necessarily where we ended up, but it's how we ended up there and how FanExpo handled it once they put us there. So do you want to kind of like go first and address sort of like your grievances as far as this goes? We're not going to
Yeah.
bring the whole damn podcast down, guys, but we got to get this out of the way. So
Yeah. I mean, right up front, we get an email from FanExpo in like May or June that they actually want to talk, and we're like, wait, what? Like last
So
year,
early.
we didn't find out. Yeah, like last year, we found out like 3 or 4 weeks before FanExpo that we were in. Now it's like 2.5 months or whatever it is before the show, and they already want to talk. Freaking right.
Cool.
So we had a meeting with them, and I mean, I think they wanted to get a chance, and a lot of people in the community people had a meeting like this with FanExpo to really hash out what it is they were about and what they wanted to do. And FanExpo even asked us, guys, like, can you give us a proposal? Right? Show us what you guys are able to do for us, what you can do immediately, and then what if you could do in the future, right? With knowing ahead of time what else could you bring to the show. So producer Jen spent, a whole week putting together like a 8-page friggin' proposal
Beautiful.
that,
Genius,
yeah,
by the way. And by the way,
pictures
just to
and
annotate what JS is saying too, they did make a point in that first meeting of mentioning of like a cost per square foot of space on the floor and how they have to justify
Mhm.
to their shareholders how that money is being spent, how each square foot of the show floor was making the con money, because they have investors, sorry, not the shareholders, they're investors. They have investors to answer to as far as these shows go, because I'm sure they have a really hard time getting money from them. Yeah, anyway, sorry, JS, go ahead. So that first meeting was just JS and Jen, and it was with the head of all of FanExpo, and then the gentleman that we were going to be working with most closely,
Mhm.
that was going to sort of coordinate and liaison between us
Correct.
and the heads of FanExpo.
Correct. So we have that meeting. We send in the proposal. We get a response, right away. Thanks, guys. This is perfect. We're gonna, move this along. We'll get back to you. A month later, now we're about a month and a half away from the show. We have a second meeting with the gentleman specifically that we were working with. Now, in this meeting, we were all there. The whole team was there.
That's right. Yeah.
The whole team wanted to firsthand hear what these guys had to say, how we were going to work this out. And we were basically told, hey, this is the setup that we're looking at for you guys. And if I'm 100% honest, originally they were going to give us 2 spaces.
Correct.
They were going to give us a space where the DeLorean ended up,
Mhm.
right behind the elevator.
Yep.
That was supposed to be our main space, and then we were going to have another space further down towards the end where I forget what was at the end there. I forget now.
Yeah, I don't know. It's about 40 feet from the first space. So
Yeah. So
yeah.
we were originally going to have 2 spaces. We had to say, look, we really, really, really appreciate it, but manning 2 spaces, we don't have the manpower.
Yeah, there's 5
We
of
don't.
us. Hi, we can't
Yeah,
do
like
2 30-foot booths. It's not going to happen.
no, like we're not the 501st, right? We don't have 100 people working here.
Right.
We're just 5 of us with
Yeah.
a couple people helping out, right? So
Now, just to make sure that we're completely transparent, the first thing that this gentleman offered us was in fact a room. to which we said unequivocally,
No.
no, we are not interested in being in a room. And I don't think this is letting any sort of cat out of a bag. If you're wondering why the Cosplay Alliance didn't have a booth at FanEXPO this year, is because they were only offered a room and they politely but firmly declined the room and decided to do VonCon instead, which took place about a week before FanEXPO. Okay,
Yeah.
so that's why Cosplay Alliance was not there as a community booth, because they didn't want to be stuck in a room. So we did offer Marissa a room first. We said no flat out. The room was never brought up again, and then we were offered these two spaces. We had to politely say we can only do one. So we were told at the end of that call that that space would be where that DeLorean ended up, and we would have two distinct sides of the space with a middle portion for people to walk in through.
So for those of you that were at Toronto Fan Expo this year in March, if you remember where the 501st and the Rebel Legion were set up, they were facing each other on each side of the aisle. That's the space we were going to have. We were going to have both sides of the aisles. The idea was to have 3 distinct photo sections, as well as our table with our props and stuff that people could check out.
Yeah, like
so
jungle in one spot, cityscape
Yeah.
in another, Doc Ock Arms in the third, and we
Yeah.
would just cycle through. And
And then we so we had that conversation. By the time we ended that conversation, we had questions around, for example, things like piping and draping, which we were told, yeah, no problem. You know, like a week or two before the show, we'll contact you and we'll work with you to figure out what piping and draping you want. Yeah, no problem. We'll handle the power and we'll make sure you guys are all hooked up. And we discussed all these things.
so this is still,
we
by the
come
way,
into this
guys.
conversation
Yeah,
like
this is
we're
still
like
in the,
pumped.
yes, this is still in the north, guys, by the way. So this is not still with the rest of the community
Yeah.
booths in the south. This is in the north, but it's on the main floor,
Yeah.
right? It is on the exhibition floor, is what they call it in the north.
Yeah.
So
But at this point, we're really pumped.
we're super pumped. And
Yeah.
now we start to aggressively make plans to utilize this particular space that
Yeah.
we were told we were going to get. And then
And
3 weeks
investing
before
in
the
new backgrounds, new backdrops,
yeah, I mean,
and buying new
rented a van
equipment,
and
renting
the
a
whole 9 yards. Yeah,
van, and we're going all out. Now we've hit the big time, right? Now we
money
got a
gets
prime
spent.
spot.
Yes,
Yeah, we got a prime
money
spot.
gets
Now
spent.
we're spending money. We
Yeah.
want to make sure that we make a big splash. We
We
want to
show
make
them.
sure that the people that are there are going to remember the Geeks Co.
Right. And we want to show FanEXPO because they seemed really hung up on, like, you've got to justify the space we're giving you. Like, we have to go back to our investors and say, well, here's what they're using the space for, so we can justify giving them. Oh, and by the way, just to clear up something, I was asked, and I think I brought this up in the pre-show, I was asked several times what the booth cost us. Nothing. It's a community booth, guys. They give us the space. Like, it costs us to go there in gas and hotel and van and rental and all, and booze and food and shit. But if you think that we paid for that booth space from where they put us,
No.
I would have burned that place to the ground. Like, there's no way I would have been okay with us shelling out $2,000, which is what they were doing for the vendor stuff, $2,000 for the weekend, and be put there.
Well, okay, so I found out that the $2,000. So not everybody's paying $2,000, right? It depends
that
on the
was
size of your booth.
No,
right?
I know that was the median that I heard for the most.
Yeah,
part.
exactly.
Especially a lot of the
if you only
artist
had a little
booth,
table, it's a
like
little
our-
cheaper.
Like our buddy Ash that has joined us, King of the Freaks,
Yeah.
a few times. That's what they're both costing $2,000. So, and they have like a little booth in Artist Alley. It's not
Well,
it's
there
the
you
biggest
go.
show in the country. It's not. Anyways,
Yeah.
sorry. So
Now,
it's 3
I wanna
weeks
make
till the show.
clear-
Go ahead.
I want to make clear the booth is not costing us anything, guys, but the understanding is we are a community booth. Right? We are there to offer a service. We're there to give back to the community. We are not there to sell stuff.
Correct.
But the understanding is you can do raffles, you can, take donations for charity. Right? You are not allowed to sell stuff. We don't want you guys to turn into another vendor booth. And that's fine. You know what?
No problem.
Totally cool. We're not there to sell stuff. We're there to entertain. We're there to give the cosplayers a spot to hang out, to take pictures in, to, meet up with their friends, to, do cosplay things. We're also there to try to feature our own cosplay community, right? And this is where my issue is with our location is, when I'm getting cosplayers to come and hang out with us and spend hours of their day to be featured at our booth for nobody to see them but people that already know them, That's where I got a little bit annoyed, because it's like, you know what? We went through all this trouble to put on a show that the regular congoers are never going to see.
Yeah, so you guys know, so we're still after that second meeting, we're moving forward full steam ahead. Like we're at prime real estate, we're on the main floor, everything's going to be good. We won't be in the south with the rest, but who cares? We're going to be on the main floor of the north. All the celebrities are there, the autograph, the photo op sessions. Dude, we got it made. 3 weeks before the con begins.
No. A week and 2 days before the con begins.
Either way, we get told two things. One, the gentleman that we've been dealing with the whole time, we're no longer dealing with.
That was 3 weeks.
That was 3 weeks. Sorry, that's all I was trying to say. So 3 weeks before the show, we are told that we are no longer dealing with a certain gentleman, which should have been the first hint to us, like, oh, we're not in the same classification anymore. But that wasn't. We just took it like, oh, they're doing some shift around, as they've done with a lot of the management team. The gentleman that we've been dealing with from FanEXPO the whole time, we're not dealing with anymore. We're dealing with a new person who, by the way, we met over the weekend, and she was lovely.
But she's a cosplayer.
It's fantastic. No problem at all. When she came around to the booth, she fucking came around to the booth, guys, like crazy town. Like that's had already never happened before. And she was very cordial. And she even said to us, I don't know why they put you guys here. We were like, that's so funny. We don't know why either. Anyways, we're getting ahead of ourselves. 9 days before the show. 9 days. 9 days before the show.
We finally get our email confirmation that we're in the show. And that we are in room 203, lower level, north building, room 203. Now, our first issue was that now we start looking for, okay, where's room 203? Room 203 is not on the floor plan that we've received. So now we had to go hunting, and we brought up the Metro Convention Center website, where we find a floor plan of the website.
Just a real quick caveat. FanEXPO has not released the official floor plan of the con yet, either on their website or through the app or whatever. They've not done that yet. They finally had put out the schedule, and we're on the schedule, but the floor plan is not released. Go ahead, Jess.
The floor plan is not released. Our Sunday meetup is also not on the schedule when they release the schedule, but that's another thing.
Yeah.
So there's no floor plan. We have to figure out ourselves that not only are we on the lower level, but we are, in fact, in a room. We don't know anything about what that room's going to look like. We have no real idea of the actual size of that room, even though they're telling us this is the booth size you're going to have. Are there going to be doors in the way? Are we having all that usable space? Like, is there going to be piping and draping? Like, we had a million questions, right?
Which our contact did do her best to answer for us, but
she did.
She had relatively limited information as well.
She did.
So
her boss did get involved, and thank you so much, because we got the piping and draping, right? Like everybody else in that room didn't.
Correct.
We said we need it.
Yes.
Like we've got no way to hang our backdrops and stuff if you don't have the piping and draping.
We're hosed. Yeah.
Not only did they give us the piping and draping, but producer Jen did a little bit of drawing of, hey, ideally this is what we want to create ourselves a little bit of a change room in the back. And they did exactly what we asked for.
They absolutely did.
So that was fantastic.
Super
I want to make sure I reiterate that the people that we've actually dealt with, for the most part, were amazing. Like when we needed to know something, they actually respond to our messages. When we ask for stuff, now I say they actually respond to our messages. There are some questions that we never got answers to.
Right.
We never got a loading dock confirmation because in the documentation they gave us,
one thing
on
day,
one thing, and then the other thing said another day.
Yeah.
So we were like, okay, so when is set up? Like when, like what's going on here? And they never actually gave us an answer, to which we said, you know what, screw it. Let's just go into the inner road.
Now, yes.
Unload our stuff on their sidewalk. And that worked really well because the booth was right there.
Yes.
Right.
Now, there is one further grievance. There's the other big. So the big grievance for us initially was we were clearly told one thing. So it felt like we kind of have a little bit of a carrot dangled in front of us. We were forced to justify the reason for the space. We had put together this huge proposal that was beautiful. We met with them. They offered us 2 giant prime real estate spaces. We agreed to take the one, and we moved forward with everything. And then at the last possible minute, all of that was yanked away from us, and we were stuck in a room in the basement. That already
which
sucks.
we had said no to in the first place.
That's correct. Yeah, just so you guys know, by the way, I don't know if we were clear on this. If they had come up with this first, much like with the cosplay launch, if they just said we're putting you guys in a room, we would have just declined at that point. We would have still attended the show. We probably would have got media passes so that we could still do the podcast and do interviews and such, but we wouldn't have set up the booth because it wouldn't have been worth our time. And that's not to say meeting all you lovely people and hanging out with you wasn't worth our time, but at the time where we were at, it made no sense to be stuck in a room. The other thing that was really terrible for us, because you've already got us in a really awkward place where people are not going to stumble upon us because we're so far off the beaten path. Remember,
can
guys,
we stop there for a
go.
second? When I told you where the room actually was on the floor plan, what was the first thing you told me?
I said lots of things. I was so mad. What did I say? What was the first thing I said?
You didn't even know that section existed.
Oh, that's right. I had never been down there. When you were like, it's by the coffee shop, I was like, what coffee shop?
Yeah.
What you're talking about. I've never been there. I've been going to FanEXPO since 2016. I've never been where our room is, ever. Not once.
Yeah.
And again, other thing to note too, by the way, I understand the red carpet was in that spot for Toronto Comic-Con last year when it was all in one building, but FanEXPO last year, it was not. The red carpet was on the main floor. In fact, it was right fucking across from our booth in Cosplay Alley where it should be, up on the main floor in the south, by the way.
In the south building.
So we're already in a really difficult spot. And the only way people are going to know to come see us, I'm going to try really hard to maintain my composure, is if we're on the floor plan, the officially released floor plan that shows where everything is. The floor plan gets released, by the way, through the website, through the app, on huge stand-up banners at the
2 days before the show,
and scheduled throughout the con. And the con even had, when you got there, they even had like laminated, printed color copies of the floor plan. Guess what wasn't on the floor plan?
The lower level of the north building.
The entire 200 section. So that's, by the way, that's not just us. That's us, Can Cosplay Cards, Sean Ward, and Cybertronic Spree. That is the rest, relax, and restore room that Cosplay for Akira is putting on. And it's all of the ones that bothered to show up anyway, Julia, the ones that all of the cosplay guests that were there, all of them, none of that is on the floor plan anywhere. The only reference to it is on the schedule that says, hey, in Club Cosplay in 200, blah, blah, blah. But if you don't know, especially if you haven't been before, you don't have the foggiest clue where that is. So to not put it, to move us all down to that level and then not put us on the floor plan is such a, I don't even know how to describe it and stay respectful, because I am trying to stay respectful. In case FanEXPO is watching, guys, I love you. I've been coming to your show for close to 10 years now, but it just reeks of such a level of, I don't know if negligence is the word I'm using. I don't know if it's an oversight. I messaged FanEXPO 2 days before the show on their social media platform through Facebook. And I was like, hey, by the way, we're on the floor plan. Nobody on 200, like there's 20, 30 personalities that are not on the floor, that are on the show, that are not on the floor plan. Do you think you guys can update this before the show starts? I didn't get a response. So
I don't know if I should probably say this, but they made a post on Instagram about celebrating cosplay and you know, come to the show and see all the cosplay, and I commented on that post saying something to the effect of, hey guys, if you want to celebrate cosplay, maybe adding the level 200 to your floor plan would be a great place to start. And my comment got promptly deleted within a minute.
And then didn't the post get deleted?
I don't know. I think the post may have been deleted as well.
Got deleted because I think some cosplayers got in there and they got a little bit rowdy. Like, you seem to want to be celebrating us, but at the same time, you're really just kind of like shunting us off. That, like, we know you nerds are coming. We're trying to get everybody else. Like, we know we got your money. You're going to come regardless. Yeah.
So that was the major thing. Is there was there was another thing, because on top of there being no floor plan, when you went to the exhibitor directory, there was no community section. When they posted it, they posted last year's community section. And when a bunch of people started commenting, hey, this is last year's community section, they just took it down and never bothered to.
Yeah, they didn't fix it. They just killed it.
Yeah, they just took it down. So there was no community exhibitor lists. There was no floor plan for the area that we were in. There was really no way for people to know we were even at the show unless they looked at the schedule. Now, I want to mention this. Our friends at the Can Podcast Awards actually went through great lengths to not only add us to their schedule, their podcast schedule, But
Yes.
they had FanEXPO add us to the podcast schedule.
Bless John and Jen. Guys,
So that
you guys.
was
Yes,
amazing.
thank you. Yes, yes.
But yeah,
I'll tell you the moment my heart broke. You ever see that episode of The Simpsons when Ralph is in love with Lisa, and then there's a video and Bart's slowing down the video. He says, "Look, Lisa, you can see the moment where his heart breaks." The moment my heart broke was on Friday, and someone, I think it was Abby, that was saying this a little bit up here in the chat there, talking about how our spot was kind of a refuge, which we get. We appreciate that. But someone came in on the Friday, and I was thinking the same thing you did. I was like, oh, it's like dead out there. It's like for a Friday. Like I knew it'd be a little bit slower, but geez, it looks like a Tuesday out there. And someone came into the room. They're like, oh, thank God this place is so quiet in here. It's so loud and crowded and crazy out there. And I was just like, I was literally like grabbing my hair and slowly pulling it out of my head. That might have been when my heart rate spiked, but that might have been when I had the freak out. I don't know. But I remember my heart just literally like fucking tore in two. I'm like, this con is crazy busy right now. And we're in a room with 7 people.
Nobody there.
And there's nobody here. We're just being wasted. Because guys, like I said at the top, it's not like we're just like we're the best, so we should be the center of all attention. It is a win. It's a win for FanEXPO and a win for us. It's not just we want to be greedy with the time, and it's not like we don't appreciate being part of the show and not having to pay for the booth. But and again, I'm going to remain as respectful as I can. But we went over to by the way, I ended up having people send me pictures too. But when we went over on Friday, we went over twice to the South Building on Friday. And they had set up a lot of the community booths underneath the escalators in the South Building, as they tend to do, not in the main exhibition halls, but in the walk areas. And there was more than one booth. This is Friday at prime time. This is we're doing the podcast at 3:00. There's more than one booth, sizable booth in that section. Nobody's there,
dude. There was a whole row. That
nobody's
whole
interacting
row and
with anybody.
Yeah,
like they have like they like
under the bus.
The people. No, I'm trying not to really hard, but they had their stuff out on tables and they were sitting behind the booth and the booth looked great. And there was not a soul, not a single patron interacting with these booths. None of them.
No,
they're just there. And the whole time, all I'm thinking is if that's us in any of those spots, I'm going to have to start managing the line again on the mic because there's going to be like hundreds of people looking to come through our stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm just watching nothing happen at these and I'm getting so frustrated.
That's when you got
like
mad.
I said, I had people sending me pictures throughout the day. People were saying like, here is this same booth empty again. Oh, here's this other booth empty again. Here's this other. It's Saturday. Here's this booth with nobody at it. This is why, guys, because we want to bring this experience to as many people as possible, not just to further our own brand, but to further the community. We can't further the community if we're not in the fucking community, if we're stuck in a room in the basement around the corner down a hall. So now, from what I understand, I did go to see, I went to the FanEXPO website. I did not see a feedback form, so I don't know if they just don't have those anymore. They do have a spot for a customer service request. So I'm going to put in a customer service request. I'm just going to let them know, hey, the request is don't shove a bunch of people down on the level 200 and then advertise that there are people on the level 200 and I just hope everything works okay. Maybe put everybody together like we're all supposed to be together. That's tough. Having said all that, guys, I'm happy that you guys had a refuge. I'm happy that you guys had a spot that was safe, that was good. That
is a big part of what we do.
Of course, that's what we want to do. Yes. But at the same time, we want to grow the community as much as we can. I think we talked about this on a previous podcast. Every single con we go to now, the ratio of normies to cosplayers is shrinking.
It is.
There's more and more people cosplaying now. There's no more people dressing up. And yes, the vast majority of those people are dressing up as anime. And we don't really have a lot of anime at our booth yet. Hopefully it's be something we'll be exploring in the future. That doesn't mean that we still can't contribute to the community as it continues to grow exponentially, show after show after show. We want to be a part of that. And like I said, we're not locked into any one particular genre like a lot of the other community booths are. We don't just do steampunk or Halo or Star Wars or Doctor Who. We celebrate it all. So we're a spot where
we typically try to do something different every day, especially at the big shows. Yeah, when we go to smaller shows like London and such, we're a little limited on space and what we could do. But when we go to the big shows, we try to do different things every day for you guys to want to come back, right?
And I'm not really sure that anybody else is really doing that. I mean, Sean was doing that kind of to an extent, but it was mostly like Spider-Man and then sort of like linked Spider-Man stuff, like definitely comic book stuff. But I don't know. They emailed the feedback forms yesterday to ticket holders. Okay, maybe that's why I didn't get it. So guys, if you bought a ticket, please check your email. I don't know what JS is doing right now. Everything's
Hang on, something's going on here.
Old man's just pressing buttons over there. So according to Michael Myers, if you're listening, they emailed the feedback forms yesterday to ticket holders. Guys, check your emails. If you've got a feedback form in there, check your junk mail, check your promotion. If you use Gmail, check your promotions or whatever, or your social folders. If you've got that, please fill that out and let them know. And again, we want to make sure, guys, that we're remaining respectful throughout the whole thing. Don't just be like, FanEXPO sucks.
Yeah, don't just email garbage, right?
It's going to be more along the lines of like, we understand that we want to see all the community booths together, and we want to make sure that the Geeks and Co., which we feel is a big part of the cosplay community as a whole, gets a chance to participate with all the other kids. So especially in light of the fact that there were still a ton of people that came to their booth where they were, which was in the doldrums of nowhere, and yet you had booths in the main area that just had no action at them whatsoever. So
now, I mean, holy crap, we've been on for 45 minutes, dude, and all we've done is rant.
I know. Sorry.
We fucking brought it to this con, dude. I don't give a shit about anything else that happened. We fucking brought it to this con. We turned it into a party. Our meetups were insane. I volunteered to be part of the Geeks and Co. Street team to get traffic flowing for next year. Hey, there you go.
Megan, you might have to show a little leg. That's all I'm saying. You might have to show a little leg there. But I volunteered to be part of the Geeks and Co. Street team to get traffic flowing next year. Thank you so much. And then Abby saying there too. Yeah, I planned on the meetups too. I switched my Harley and Tifa plan to make the villains meet up. So Abby, we do thank you so much. Everybody that geared their cosplays around the meetups. And I know we were kind of late in announcing what we were doing and how that was going to work. And we're going to try to work on the future, guys, to try to get that going. But again, so many things were so in the air for confirmation from us from the show. It was really hard for us. Having said that, we're about 2 weeks out from London. We haven't announced that one yet. I can tell you, by the way, guys, really spilling any beans, but the boys here are going to be doing their Predators both days for London Comic Con.
Yeah.
So I put up a poll on my stories today to see what I'm doing. Over half of the responses have been for one very specific cosplay. So that one's definitely coming out. I'm going to be announcing that tomorrow, and then I'll figure out another one. So
you're not going to spill some beans? No?
Yeah. Apparently people liked it. So we're going to bring that out. Again tomorrow.
It's very fitting. And we could tell that you love playing the character.
Oh yeah,
you got into it all day when you were in that. I mean, your attitude completely changed once you got dressed up.
Yeah, the meetups are beautiful. Thank you, Abby. We appreciate that. There is, by the way, huge shout out to Teresa and Jamie. Like Jamie manning the booth on Saturday was a huge help. I'm sorry that you end up getting the migraine, Jamie, on Sunday. I know what that's like. That sucks so bad. But Teresa was once again just the ultimate trooper. Pardon me. Organizing the photo meetups and getting everybody shooting and
those meetups for sure.
The different groups and everything else. I mean, she did such an amazing job. So once again, Teresa, thank you so much for donating your time and your money and your skills and everything else. It was So
we had 4 meetups this weekend.
We did.
We had a horror meetup on Friday. We had a Star Wars meetup on. Sorry, we had a horror meetup on Thursday. Star Wars meetup on Friday. And then we had our villains meetup on Saturday and our DC meetup on Sunday. Now, folks, if you're listening to us online, come and check us out come and check out the rebroadcast of this on YouTube, because you're going to get to see a lot of pictures of what's going on here. Jen is saying, sorry, don't apologize. You can just put up everything that you have, stream through your stuff. That's totally cool.
So this is a good example of what the villain meetup looked like. You can see our buddy Noah in the back here. We had to put him on a stool to get him up above there, the Green Goblin, because his Green Goblin was epic as fuck. But you can see just the sheer number of people. This isn't even really, you can't even get like the depth of field here. There's a lot of people.
There's a lot of people. There's like 4 rows of us here.
Yeah. Like you can
And this
see
was
me
not
and
our
I'm sitting
biggest
behind
meetup.
Noah, and all you can really see are my horns. That's I'm in the back, but that's all. Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah, and this wasn't the biggest one. This was our Saturday meetup. I feel like our Sunday meetup was even bigger. Our DC meetup was.
I don't know that DC was bigger, but DC
You
was
don't think
definitely
so?
no, but it was better organized for sure.
Mm,
The way they I think Teresa even said that to everybody. She was like, "This is the best group so far that I've done with
yeah.
getting people in and out of the shoots and everything else." Because we did all the Bat family, then Superman, and then all the identify as male, identify as female, and then all the Titans and all the Justice League and all the villains and all the heroes, and it was just, and everybody was just swapping in and out so effortlessly. It was really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure. And Teresa is, in fact, Natasha's right. Teresa is a goddess behind the camera. You are not wrong. I think where she really excels too is like just her handling of people. She handles them so well and gets them to do what she needs them to do. A big Ira, our friend. Thank you, Teresa. Absolutely, of course. Thank you, Teresa. It was
I feel like Teresa is so used to it now that she knows. Okay, these are the shots I want. Right? These are the different groups. These are, you know what I mean. So
yeah.
She blows through it quick and doing boom, and let's go.
And the nice part is when she doesn't know the IP, she just looks to one of us. She's like, "What do I do this?" And I'm like, "Say this." She's like, "Yeah, okay, cool." And Peter giving a shout out to the V group. We got a chance to talk to the V group on the podcast. That was really cool. Yeah,
we did. Producer Jen, did you want to bring up that video? We got a quick video here of our Star Wars meetup on Friday.
Star Wars, those crazy Far Wars.
Now,
so as you can see, guys, there's quite a few less people. So Thursday and Friday, we were ultimately disappointed in the turnouts, both in the room and in the meetups. Because I mean, you saw how many Star Wars cosplayers there were at this con over the weekend. It was just an insane number. And don't get me wrong, guys, thank you everyone that's in there. Iris in there. There's Cutie. Of course, we got our Kylo there as well. So we loved everybody there.
Christina's in there.
Yeah, it just would have been great if we'd have had, like I said, Saturday and Sunday is when everybody really brought out and came out and saw us. But it's just the nature of where we were. I think it took a couple of days for people to figure out, hey, they're down here.
Yeah, and I think so we had reached out to some 501st members to try to come down as well, and I think same thing. It was one of those things where, like, where the heck are you guys, right? So yeah, again, it is what it is.
Rob the back. I love the Kylo guy. Yeah, he was dope.
I know, right? He's pretty dope.
Fuck.
Yeah.
God damn. Yeah.
Can we take a minute to talk about the people? First of all, we have the best team behind us. I'm not going to go about it 10 different ways. We literally have the best team of people behind us, from Teresa and Jamie to producer Jen, who really is responsible for a lot of what you guys are seeing, right? Like I said earlier, she's the one that spent a week putting that 8-page proposal together for these guys. She's the one that coordinates everything. She's the one that helps us get into her suits, although Jamie helped out a lot get into her suits this weekend as well. Without producer Jen, we really, really, really have a hard time doing this. And then you guys, Megan, Rob, you dressing up all weekend.
That fucking clown. Jeff, if you're watching, I don't even have a problem with clowns, but that fucking clown, man, like that is not, it's coming in right there with the goddamn flower sunglasses. Get out of
and is the other one Lacey? Is it both of them?
No, it's a completely different person altogether.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. So guys, the team, you guys are the Geeks and Company.
Yeah, we couldn't ask for a better team. What everybody has to sacrifice to make this thing happen, which again comes back to why we're so frustrated, because we're putting in all this time and effort. Now, it's not just the money. I mean, it's not the money, but it's not just the money. We are putting in all this time and effort. We're doing it for you guys. So we want to bring that to as many people as we possibly can to make everybody's time at the con better, including our own. So, but yeah, that's what we do. We dress up and we have fun. And some days we dress up for the whole day. Like when you guys go in those Predators, man, you're in those Predators for the day. Like even like you guys got out of those, and then you put them like you got all the way out, and then you guys put them all the way back on again. And I think we'd be remiss if we don't get into what happened when you and Rob put your Predators on and went to the celebrity area.
Oh, that was hilarious. So we halfway through the day, okay, so let's back it up a little bit.
Yes.
Teresa had originally bought a photo op with Gwendolyn Christie. And I'm sure everybody knows by now, she canceled like 2 days or 3 days before the show. So Teresa was like, well, instead of just getting my money back, I'll buy another photo op. So she bought a photo op with Matthew Lillard and Skeet Ulrich. So we're like, what if we showed up in her Predators and I had like a ghost face mask on my skull and spine? And Teresa was like, oh my God, that's genius. So we decide that we're going to go up and we're going to take a picture with these guys. So there's a specific time, right? They tell you have to be there at 4:05. Your photo op is at 4:20.
By the way, guys, nobody tells me any of this. Right? So we're doing the podcast at 3, and all of a sudden these monkeys start running around like, oh my God, it's like 3:40. We got off the podcast. And I'm like, what are you fucking talking about? We've only been on for 40 minutes. They're like mad freaking out. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? I'm like yelling around. I'm like, I don't know what's happening.
Because we were out of our suits.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And then they put their suits back on and they just run out the door. And I'm like, I still don't know what's happening. Nobody tells me anything. So I'm like, okay, I guess it's just us at the booth. We'll just hang out here.
So this was happening. These suits take us about 40 minutes to get into, realistically.
By the way, this is cool. This is not the coolest thing that happened.
No. Listen to this.
This is cool.
So I'm leading up to this.
Right? I know you are.
So it usually takes us about 40 minutes to get into the suits. We get into those suits in 20 minutes flat. Like we're running. We've got 3 people helping us. I say, fuck the audio, like, just unplug me, just, screw it. So we get up there, and Teresa's like, any chance you can, like, scoot us, like, in a different area, or perhaps send us to the beginning of the line, because I got these 2 idiots in these giant suits waiting with me. So they're like, oh, come with me. So we go, and they scoot us right at the beginning of the at the front of the line, which we weren't actually at the front of the line. They moved us to the front of that line, but we were the 5th line in anyway. No big deal.
Press pass, buddy. Flash that press pass. Be like, hey.
And then we wait for an hour. And then we're like, oh my God, like I'm dying, right? It's full suit on, right? And I'm messing with the crowd as the crowd is going in for different pictures. We're clicking and we're fucking around with people. And so we get in there and you could see Matthew Lillard's face. He did that for the picture, but the way it was going on is you go into your photo op and you're literally there for all of like 9 seconds, right?
Exactly.
They bring you onto the thing. Ready, click, next. Ready, click, next.
Yeah, because they're trying to get through everybody they possibly can.
Yeah, they got like 400 people they're trying to get through in an hour, right?
Yeah.
So as we go into the room, because the person's setting up and they're taking the picture as we're walking into the room, and I saw he's looking at the camera to take the picture, and then he sees us, and then he's like, and he's like, what the fuck?
Get the fuck, what I mean?
So we get up there, we do our thing, we take the picture, like, oh yeah, cool suit, guys, thanks, blah, blah, blah. And then we leave. And when you come out of the photo op area, you come out at the end of Celebrity Alley, where all the celebrities are lined up. So we figured, what the hell, let's walk the celebrity line and let's cause some commotion. Well, listen, we had celebrities friggin' running down to us wanting to take pictures. We had Christy Brinkley who ran down and took a picture with us. There's Christy Brinkley there. She friggin' loved it. I gave her the skull, and she's like, ew, that's so gross. She took a picture with there. It is. We met Yuji Akamoto. Oh, man, I don't know how to pronounce his name.
Can we not skip over Christy Brinkley? Because this was a huge part of my puberty as a child. Because, I mean, Christy fucking Brinkley. Like,
yeah.
You don't know how jealous I am that this happened for you. I'm super happy this happened to you guys. That's why I brought this up. but I'm green with jealousy at the back. I'm wearing Loki, by the way, which is all green as it is, but holy fucking shit. She's a legend. She's like almost like the first supermodel.
Yeah.
She's in fucking
And it's
Vacation,
not like
for
we
God's
had
sake.
to line up to
That's
go
what I'm
meet
saying.
her. And no, she ran down to
runs
us.
out and wants to get a picture with you guys. That's so fucking dope. I love it so much.
Yeah. We got to meet Todd Stashwick, Captain Liam Shaw from Star Trek Picard Season 3. Like that was so cool. There he is, Yuji Okamoto. That's his name. Those that don't know, was in Karate Kid 2 and in Cobra Kai. That was really a neat part of the con. I'm not gonna lie. We got to. Did you lose sound? Did you lose something? You look like you're confused.
No. I have lost something, but that's okay. I'm good. Go ahead. Sorry.
So yeah,
I'm good. That's awesome for you guys, by the way. That is so dope. I'm so happy that happened for you guys. It's awesome.
Is there a connection between Predator and the Screamcast, or did you just attend the photo op in costume? Yeah, that's exactly what we did. We just thought it'd be funny to show up in our costumes, but to, make it as if, the Predators killed Ghostface, right? Hence the skull and spine with the Ghostface mask on it. But that was just it. We were just in it for the laugh and thought it would create a good picture and some commotion.
For the lulls.
Exactly.
Right.
Teresa was on board, so we're like, yes, let's do this.
Yes, that's right, Peter. Happy mad for you. That's correct. That's exactly where I was at. Yes. That's like, fuck, I wish I'd gone. No, that's good. I'm happy for you guys. It's great, but tear.
Sam is saying Todd Stashwick. I always have a hard time with that. Is an absolute joy. You know what? He's super cool. He's funny as hell. I took my mask off and I told him, you know what? When you came on to the show, he's like, you fucking loved me, didn't you? I'm like, not so much.
So you guys didn't get a picture with Stashwick?
No, we didn't end up getting a picture with him. I just talked to him for like 2-3 minutes, and
Gotcha.
because he stayed behind his table, so I wasn't sure if it was cool to like start snapping pictures and stuff when technically we were paying for it, right?
It's all good.
I will say this: we were set up in front of Ensign Mount and Ethan Peck for at least 20 minutes, clicking away and causing a massive commotion. And never once did they break eye contact with the person they were talking with. Those two, we were doing everything we could to get them. I'm
sure you were. Now, of everybody, by the way, because Stashwick got a very good reputation after this con, but of everybody, I heard so many people talking about how amazingly nice and engaging Ethan Peck was. Like, to a person. Our editor Megan has a new massive crush on somebody, and his name is Ethan Peck. And she's like giddy for this guy because her and one of our friends, Alicia, ended up meeting him. Like they just like decided on the fly, like, oh, we'll just go meet Ethan Peck, and they did, and they filmed the encounter, and Megan has been squeeing ever since. I don't know if her feet have touched the floor. So our dear editor Megan is deeply in love with Ethan Peck. Ethan Peck. I think she's single. I think Megan's single. And I think Ethan Peck, if you're single, you could do much worse. So I wish the two of you happy nuptials in the future. I'm sure he's probably going to make you put the chapel outfit on, but that's fine. Sacrifices has to be made. It's fine. But yes, everybody to a person was like, Ethan Peck was the best. He was so engaged and he spoke, he talked, he was like asking questions, like the whole 9 yards. So that's cool. And yeah, same. I heard a lot about Stashwick too. Like he was just cool and laid back and seemed to be like just enjoying the experience and stuff. So yeah.
Peter's having to leave. Have a great night, Peter. Thanks for joining us and nice meeting you this weekend. It was awesome. Oh, and thanks for the gift, FYI.
Yes.
Well. I'm gonna. I know it's a little, but I'm gonna talk about it. Yeah,
that's a good point, Cutie. That's right. When we picked up our media badges had the name. So Rob's last name was also on Megan's card. So Megan's last name was the same as Rob's. We were like, wait, what?
That was hilarious.
What did you? I think Rob's married. When did we move to Utah? I don't think Rob gets to have 2 wives. This isn't cool. Rob, stop poaching all the wives, dude. Come on, man.
We had a lot of featured cosplayers there this week, or this weekend, I should say. I want to try to bring a couple of on. Guys, by the way, I know we had some polls online this week. A lot of people answered those polls. We're going to get to those in a minute. I do want to get to some featured cosplayers that we had with us this weekend because I think even on the last day, it was a little bit all over the place, and they didn't really get to be featured. And even the ones that did get to, just stand at the booth and hang out, it really wasn't what we expected because we didn't get the traffic that we were really hoping that we got. But still, I want to thank all of them for, coming, hanging out, doing this for us. You guys are the best. We fucking love you guys. This is a big reason why we do this in the first place, is to be able to do this with people like you guys. So thank you so, so much for coming. As you can see right here, first of all, Richard Bakari, this is the first day he showed up in his Hellboy.
Yeah.
Um,
We're just going to make him an honorary geek at this point, because not only is he just brings like an amazing energy, wonderful cosplays. He's always just so happy to do stuff, to be involved. But just the way he comports himself and the way he is as a human, like he's just, yeah. Richard, if you're still watching, I know you were in earlier. What's the word I'm looking for? Like, you were invited in perpetuity, sir. Like, you don't have to wait for us to say, hey, do you want to come and spend time at the booth? Anytime, sir. You want to throw on a costume and come hang out with us for a couple hours at the booth? We'll put you front and center every fucking time, dude. You are.
Same thing with this next one here.
Oh my god.
There we go.
Don't even.
Guys, if you don't know Christina, if you're not following Sheer Creation on Instagram, you probably shouldn't be in this live right now. Christina has some of the most professional, like right off a movie set, cosplays that I know.
Crazy.
Her
Mando, her Cylon, her Planet of the Apes, her Tusken Raider, her Bespin Luke, her like everything is like top to bottom.
Yeah.
Crazy brilliant.
Yeah. Christina, we also got to hang out with on Saturday night. It was
Friday night.
Friday night.
Went out for dinner.
We went out for dinner, and then she came back to the Airbnb, and just the most wicked person to hang out with. Christina, thank you. There's her Cylon.
Fuck off.
Like, come on. You know what I mean? Like,
so good. So good. Yeah. And like the most like, you'd think someone that was coming out and stuff like that would just and part of the 501st, like, you think they would have an ego, like you think we have to butter her ears to get her head through the door. No, completely down to earth, completely cool, awesome person, great energy, genius, absolutely genius. Oh, thanks, Mike. Charles and Adina from the Visitor Fleet, who drove all the way from Connecticut, absolutely loved being on the podcast. They loved your energy, Jeff. Hey, man, I loved having them on there. They were a joy to talk to and get their insights and feedback. It was wonderful. Who's that fucking nerd in the middle there? That unworthy piece of shit. Who is that?
So, this is exactly what I mean. And we had these two amazing cosplayers.
Guys, we should have been lined up at the door for these two.
Yeah, we had Ben, Niagara Iron Man, in his full Iron Man suit, which, by the way, had a short circuit. We literally had to fix it in our change room.
That's right.
Trying to get it fixed so he could come out. And then Faz Guardian in one of his stores. This should have been a massive hit. And all of a sudden, there's nobody in the room. And we got these two guys standing there. So what do? We send Ben out the door. We're like, Ben, go hang out in the hallway for a little bit. And that caused the wickedest commotion. All of a sudden, everybody wanted to hang out with him. He was out there bringing people in and then sending them inside, to the point where, as it Plentiful Props 3D, who was one of the featured cosplayers at the show, was also an Iron Man cosplayer, put on his Iron Man suit and ended up in our room. So Ben was outside in the hallway bringing people in, and Plentiful Props 3D was in the room with Faz Guardian taking pictures with people. That ended up being a massive hit. Now, we left and we did our podcast, but apparently that a lot of people go through once they did that. So thank you so much, guys, for coming. I know it's sometimes a little bit awkward when you're just standing around and there's no people, but you guys are friggin' troopers. Now, Noah. Holy frick, man. I wasn't expecting Noah to be that big of a dude. Like, when he showed up, I was like, holy fuck, dude. Like, I'm not a small guy. He's way bigger than I am. We finally got to meet the Freakish Workshop.
We did.
He hung out on Friday in Civies.
He did.
He got to do the show and hang out, and then he came back on Saturday in his Green Goblin, which
Dope.
I mean, what the hey? I mean, it was amazing. Noah, my friend, thank you so much for coming. You know you're welcome also anytime. Guys, if you don't know who Not Possible is, we met her. Well, I met her for the first time last year at FanEXPO, funny enough. Now, unfortunately, we weren't able to get Becca to really, because Sunday was so all over the place. Becca was supposed to have a time slot to feature at her booth and take pictures, and Miss Chantal, who was also there, was supposed to have time at her booth to take some pictures. Everything was so all over the place that they were in the room the whole day. We didn't really get specific times for them to take pictures with people, because at that point it was just the cosplay community that was hanging out in cosplay, right? It wasn't people coming through anymore. So that's totally fine. We still love Becca. We love you. We appreciate you coming out and hanging out. Same thing with Chantal. This is my favorite cosplay of hers, by the way. The Batman Who Laughs. I know, guys, we had said that Chantal was going to be premiering her Hawk Girl. And yes, I'm trying to specifically pronounce it properly, Hawk Girl. And, you know, when you're in Con Crunch, shit happens. Fortunately, stuff happened. She couldn't get her helmet finished in time. So last minute, she decided to don her Batman Who Laughs. And personally, I fucking love it. It's my favorite cosplay of hers. We got, again, like I said, to hang out with Becca and Ms. Chantal Saturday and Sunday. Were they there Friday as well? I can't remember if they were there on Friday. I think Chantal might have been there on Friday. I'm not sure if Becca was.
Yeah.
Either way, guys, thank you so much. It's always a fucking blast when you guys are around. And I want to give a special thanks to Matt Sheridan. Guys, if you guys don't know Matt Sheridan, Matt is Becca or Not Possible's other half. The guy's a fucking angel. He's there to help out anytime we need help. He's not only Becca's handler, but he's like the room's handler. You need anything, he's there before you can even ask. Matt, buddy, thank you so much. You are the man. You saved our asses a couple times this weekend. I mean, I know we talked at the top about Kid and Cutie and Can cosplay cards, but fuck. You know, Kid, I feel like Kid should live in the area. Well, same with Cutie. I feel like they should be in the GTA.
Right?
Like, why are they out west? Like, what are you guys doing? You should be out here. This is where it's at. You guys are awesome.
There were a lot of chains and ropes and kneeling on Sunday. You're not wrong.
There was. This is a great shot of Cutie in her Wonder Woman and her golden lasso.
Yes, there is a TikTok that she roped me into doing. I don't know. I can't see it because I'm not on TikTok, but I'm on TikTok. At least I'm on Cutie's TikTok. She said, I'm going to lasso you and you're going to say this line and you're going to do it. And I was like, I guess you're going to lasso me and I'm going to do it. So there I was. So if you're on, yes, if you check out Canadian Comic Cutie and her stuff, if you go to her social media, I'm sure she probably has a link for her TikTok there, and you can see that TikTok there. So I will post it this week. Well, there you go. It's not posted yet, so she's gonna post it this week.
Now they had a very, very, very successful weekend. Kid and Cutie run can cosplay cards. Well, Kid runs can cosplay card, but Cutie really helps them out a lot. I think she runs his social media. They had an amazing weekend, guys. If you don't know what Can Cosplay Cards does, they actually make cards, trading cards, Pokemon or baseball style cards, but of your cosplay. So it costs you all of $5. You get 10 cards. You get added to a set. The whole set is 52 cards. No, it's not 52 cards. It's 47 because there are then 5 extra cards in the set. Right. There's a couple puzzle cards. Anyway.
You get 10 cards for your $5.
10 cards for $5. Guys,
Correct.
Not only did they sell out so they just finished set 4. Set 4 just went out for print, and I think the cards just came back. They sold out set 5 on the weekend, and they're like, I think a third of the way through set 6 already. So great weekend for these guys.
Oh, and hey, Kid, Cutie, if you're still watching, I gave you my $5. So I don't know what you need from me now, but you have my $5. So I thought Peter left. Now he's back saying Cutie was the bee's knees. Oh, we started talking about Cutie and suddenly Peter's back. What a shocker. Cutie was the bee's knees, the tits. If bee's knees had tits, they'd have your face on them. I don't are you drinking, sir? I don't know what's happening right now.
Yeah, she says we're full for set 5 and a third way through set 6.
There you go. She said she'll message me. Thank you. I'm sure you need my bio and pictures that I'm going to choose and all that jazz. So, but you have my $5. Apparently, you're the bee's tits. I don't know what that means, but that's what you are. So, go with Peter on this one. I don't know what he's talking. I think he's drunk. I'm not sure. Anything else you want to share before we?
I want to thank the community for showing up, because if you guys hadn't shown up, it would have been a real long and lonely weekend in that room.
We would have been just playing the theme from Taxi and just like moping in the corners of the theme from Taxi, because by the way, the theme from Taxi slaps. That's all I'm saying. But it was definitely, it's very somber. So not possible as a gargoyle cosplay was amazing. Yeah, her demonia. Yeah, it was for whatever it's called.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Sad.
But you guys are why we do this. You guys make this happen. You know, without your support, I mean, there really is no Geeks and Co. Let's be honest.
There is no us without you.
Yeah. And we're not just saying that, right? I mean, the whole premise
of
what we do.
Yeah, we're nowhere without you guys. I'll see you guys in Windsor, Canadian Comic Cutie. Yes, you will. Yes, in fact, you will.
That's right. Producer Jen put up a bunch of polls over the week up on our Instagram. We surprisingly had a lot of responses. After Comic-Con, we put up polls and only a couple people responded, but we actually had a ton of responses, so many that we had to leave some out.
You guys are the bomb. That was a really great prop you guys brought, by the way. That was you brought me a bomb when I was Batman, so that was fantastic. By the way, I got to be like, sometimes you just can't get rid of a bomb, so I do appreciate you guys.
The bomb was hilarious. We're gonna potentially do a bit of a bomb thing actually while we're in London.
We probably should.
Andrew.
Yeah. Thanks for making the best of a bad situation, providing a fun and welcoming space, Nada. You are more than welcome. Thank you, like Jess is saying, for coming out with your patronage and coming to see us and all your guys amazing cosplayers. Really quickly, you guys going to be at Hamilton Comic Con? We will not. Not as a team, and I don't know if any of us are even just going individually. Every time I go to Hamilton Comic Con, I spend 40 minutes walking around Hamilton Comic Con, and then I'm like, why did I bother coming to Hamilton Comic Con? And then I'll skip the next year. And then the year after, somebody will be like, hey, let's go to Hamilton Comic Con. I'll be like, great. And the whole cycle repeats. So I went last year and I was like, I don't know why I'm here. And so this year, this is my off year. Like, nah, I remember how bad it was last year. I'm not, sorry, I don't mean bad. I don't want to be disrespectful. It's just a small show. And it's just, for me, it's not worth the drive out to Hamilton to spend a day. And I don't know why there's 2 days, because you do not need 2 days of that con. You can easily just do that in one day. But if you like it and you're close, man, check it out. Absolutely. It's run by the same people that run Niagara Falls. I'm sure it's a great little con. It's just not for me. So I will not be there. So anyways, sorry.
Let's bring up some of these surveys that we had here. What cosplay / costume or prop blew your mind this year? The Ventress. You know what? If you guys didn't see Ventress on, I think she was Ventress on Saturday. She was Jessica Rabbit on Sunday.
Missy Magali. Yeah.
No, sorry, Ventress was Missy Magali. I thought it was the one that does the Catwoman. So I got that confused.
Oh, I'm pretty sure it was Missy Magali.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, I know who that is. She also did Poison Ivy on Sunday.
Yes.
That was amazing. The Ventress.
Yes. Very
all out, bald cap, white face, and everything.
Oh yeah,
that was really cool. The Warhammer cosplay that won the Masquerade was amazing. I actually didn't get to see. Nope. Yeah, I didn't get to see.
I did see a Warhammer cosplay, but it definitely didn't. It wasn't. It was an Adeptus Mechanicus. I actually brought him into the room to get some pictures with him and stuff. But it was indeed Missy. Okay, that's what I thought. Megan. Yeah, I was pretty sure the Ventress was Missy Magali. So
somebody's saying freakish as Green Goblin. Yeah, that was. I mean, let's be honest. Yeah,
I turned him at one point when we were doing the villain shoot. I'm like, I thought this was cool online, but now that I'm seeing it in person, it's like
it's impressive.
Shit. Yeah,
it's impressive, especially when you get up close to like the shoulder pads and all the detail work. It's something.
Yeah,
the photos parts of it do look like they're 3D printed.
Yeah,
that's how good they are, and it's all 100% foam.
Yeah.
So yeah, Rob's xenomorph head spear was insane. It was. We got a
Very
lot of
cool.
comment about that over the
Very
weekend.
cool.
And he threw that together in like a couple weeks before the con. Like
Yep.
he just decided he wanted to make a xenomorph head.
Yep.
And like no joke, the day before the con, I'm like, that would look good. That would look really good on your spear. And the next day, as we're packing, it's on the spear.
Right?
So yeah, that was amazing. The incredible Star Fox and Falco cosplays. So
Did not
I
see
didn't get to see the Falco in person. I saw it in the recap video that FanEXPO did. The Star Fox I got pictures of. Man, that was dope as hell. Listen, if you didn't see Star Fox and Falco, go check out the recaps. They're in, I think, the day 2. I think day 2 recap. Either way, go check it out. They were awesome. And finally, Frog Lady from the Mandalorian was the best. Our friend Marianne.
Yes, friend of the podcast, Hypergate cosplay. Go check out her stuff.
I only really bumped into her like the one time when she was in her Frog Lady. Hey, how's it going? Blah blah blah. And then that was it. I know she did another cosplay on another day. I don't think I saw her at all.
No, I barely saw her.
Yeah, we really didn't get a chance to see her much on the weekend. But I know she was there. What was your favorite part and moment? The group meetups for sure. I mean, let's be honest. That's really when we were super busy at the booth. That's when the action happened. That's when the music was really blaring. That was the best part of the weekend, as far as I'm concerned, is the group meetups. Being a guest, putting in the work to get there. I'm going to assume that's Crystal. I think
Probably
she's
Crystal.
watching.
Yep.
Congratulations, by the way, Crystal, on not only making the guest, but having an amazing weekend.
Yep. Actually, at your booth and interacting with people as a cosplay guest should. Yes, you were fantastic.
Yeah, that was
not everybody in that room was doing that. We won't name any names.
Yeah, no, that was that was awesome. Yeah, stop it. Stop it.
Bob, what? I don't know what you're talking about.
Meeting Hayden Christensen, guys. I don't know who commented that, but a lot of people got to meet Hayden.
Holy fuck. Listen, my whole fucking Instagram feed is just pictures after picture after picture after picture after picture with Hayden.
The lineup.
How much money did that dude make this weekend?
Oh, I don't know. But the lineup to get downstairs. The only reason we were that busy on Saturday was because of that.
Because of the lineup to get to Hayden Christensen.
The lineup to get to Hayden Christensen was right in front of our room.
Yeah.
So everybody lined up there could see what was going on in our room. And I think that really, really helped with the traffic. It was insane the amount of people that went through there. Apparently he was fantastic all day. So
no, that's kudos. Cool. He made all the money. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Getting handed a baby while cosplaying Predator. Well, that was last year. That was at Toronto Comic-Con.
Was Rob drunk when he put that in there?
I don't know. I don't know who said that, but that happened at.
I don't know who said that. How many people cosplay as the Predator? And if you didn't put it there, I'm pretty sure I know who did.
I don't know. I don't know. Somebody says the body paint after party.
That was a joke that went way too far. Got a lot of people very confused. So we do apologize for all of that. I think Nick started that, and then it just got way out of hand. So we had to put out statements to retract and everything else. So yes, I apologize for. Oh, Dana, of course, Day Cosplay would have been the.
Oh, that was Dana. That in her Predator. I guess she got the handle of baby as well.
That's good.
Yeah, Nick started this joke online that we were doing a body paint after party, and I shit you not, within minutes we start getting messages. Oh, where's the party? Oh, when is this happening? Like people, like if we had actually set up a body paint after party, we would have had a full crowd because everybody was into it. But no,
yeah, we're a bunch of middle-aged old people. We're gonna have a body paint party. Are you out of your fucking minds? Jesus, I thought it
was funny.
It was funny for about 5 seconds, and then it just wasn't. And then it was annoying because we were all getting messages about it. And by the way, I hadn't seen the story, so I didn't have the fucking first clue what anybody was talking about. I'm like, what party? What are you talking? Like, I had no idea. So I felt like a giant idiot for like a couple of hours before I got clued into what was going on. So, anyways, yes, there was no party. There was no body paint. There will not be. By the way, we are organizing an after party for London Comic-Con. So you're spilling some beans. We're looking to be at the Ale House, which is literally like a block away from where London Comic Con is going to be. So that's going to be Saturday night. I imagine we'll probably start around 8 o'clock. I'm going to try to make as many reservations as I can out in the patio. So you guys want a Geeks & Co. after party? You can have a Geeks & Co. after party. We're doing it in London at the Ale House, September 16th. Be there and be square.
All around from all the beer drinking, but
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Finally, somebody's saying the Doc Ock arms. Thank you very much. I mean, the Doc Ock arms were a hit again this weekend. I feel like every time we bring those damn things out, people love it.
Yep.
Everybody wants to be Doc Ock. So, you know, if we have the room to keep bringing them, we're going to keep bringing them.
Yes, 100%.
You know, Andrew Saxon is asking, is the body paint optional? Yes, there is no body paint for the London after party either. What can we, FanEXPO or the Geeks & Co. improve on? I purposely didn't read these ahead of time, by the way.
That's okay. They all say mostly the same thing.
Yeah. Being on the showroom floor, yeah, that would be my I would say that, yes, very much. An AM and PM meetup each day for double the fandoms. So that's a good point. On Saturday we had our villains meetup, and then Sean Ward also organized a Spider-Man meetup. That was fantastic to have two meetups on the same day. It is a lot of work to have two meetups on the same day. It also means that we're having to switch costumes twice a day, every day. When we have certain costumes that we have are just a pain to get in and out of, so it's not ideal to switch from one to another to back to then back to. That gets a little hard, but you know, we'll have to see if there's maybe 1 or 2 days where we can have multiple meetups next year and see if it's something that we can do. Let me say slightly later meetup in case people can only get ready and on site and need more time. That's a very good point. I think when we decided we were going to set up our meetups at noon, it was for the fact that we were going to be doing our podcasts at 3. Figured if we do our meetups at noon and the meetups, let's say, last an hour, then it gives us 2 hours to do our thing in cosplay or feature someone or whatnot before we have to start recording our podcast. But yeah, maybe we need to do the meetups a little bit later. Maybe we need to do the meetups maybe after the podcasts. I don't know. We would have to.
We'll play with it.
Yeah, we'll have to think about that and see what we could do.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, this one, a better map that shows the locations.
Yeah, or like being on the map at all.
An actual map,
good.
An actual floor plan. Just saying. With our area. That would be nice. That
would be pretty dope.
That'd be a great place to start.
A little bit.
FanX could have promoted club cosplay way better. Felt like the club was a complete afterthought. That's kind of where I sat at the end of the weekend.
That's because it was a complete afterthought.
I feel like somebody had an idea, and then that idea was passed along to somebody else who probably didn't know what was going on, and then it just ended up, like I said, being an afterthought, and nobody really cared enough to do anything about it, right? I mean, that's how it felt.
That's how it was.
Even on the
That's
website.
not how it felt, sir. That's how it was.
Right? We had no floor plan. We weren't on the website. We weren't in the
correct.
exhibitor directory.
We weren't in the app. We weren't even at the postings at the show. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not even like the only if you were already down that hall, there was a standee out in front of our room that said Club Cosplay. That was it. That was the only thing in the entire show that told you what that room was. There was not a single other. The only other thing that you could have seen what was going on in that room was on the schedule, but it didn't tell you how to get there. It just told you it was at Club Cosplay.
The page for Club Cosplay didn't really explain what was going on in there.
No,
it didn't tell you any of the events that were going to be in there.
No,
it didn't tell you any of the booths that were going to be in there, and it didn't tell you where the fuck Club Cosplay was on the floor plan.
Nope. Yeah.
Anyway.
Yep.
That's we've talked about it enough. We spent 45 minutes at the beginning of the show talking about that, so
Yep.
it is what it is. Our buddy
is that
Steve
it for the polls?
Saying, basically, FanEXPO needs to figure out their stuff out a little bit more. Yeah. Sorry, not sorry. I mean, it's it's just frustrating, right? I think it goes without saying we had a great weekend.
This is interesting.
Right?
So Michael is saying a lot of people thought the room was for VIP only. I got a message from Snowhawk who said he saw that you had to have a badge because they were swiping people into our room.
Yeah.
And apparently there were some kids who had a wristband instead, and they weren't allowing wristband kids into the room because they didn't have a badge to swipe.
Really?
That's a message I got from Ed, our buddy Snowhawk there. He sent me a message earlier today. He's like, when you guys are talking on the wrap up, make sure you address this. There were kids that couldn't get into the room if they only had a wristband and not an actual badge, like a kid's pass, because they couldn't swipe them into the room. Good job, you. Anyways,
it was bad enough that people thought it was a private thing because you had to tap in, and I heard it myself. I heard people say, "Oh, I wish I could go in there," and I was like, "What do you mean you wish? You can totally go in there." Like, wait, what?
Why can't you? Oh, what? Yeah, and they weren't even. Anyways, you know what?
And now they're telling kids with bracelets that they can't go in because they can't tap.
Hey, I can't go in and get a picture with Batman because I can't tap a badge. Anyways, guys, we're going to start wrapping this up because we can't spend another half an hour ranting and raving about what was done to us this year. We can confirm one thing. Toronto Comic-Con comes along and or next year's FanEXPO. If they offer us a room, we are going to decline. So if you want to see your Geeks & Co. at these coming events for Toronto, make sure they know. Post it on their Facebook, message them on their social media on Facebook, use the feedback form that's in your email, or go to their
Instagram,
their customer service quest, their Instagram, whatever it is. Let them know you want to have the Geeks & Co. in the community area with the rest of the community booths or on the main show floor, because we are not coming back if it's just going to be a room, guys. It's just not going to happen. So at least I'm certainly not coming back if it's just going to be a room, because it's not worth our time, money, and effort. We love all you guys, and we'll still hang out with all you guys, but it's just too much money and time for us to be stuck in a room in a corner where nobody knows we're there, and apparently kids can't even get in the room and spend time with us. So
I was not aware of that. That's straight BS.
Yep. So anyways, we love you guys. We love you too. By the way, yes, we are going to be in London September 16th to 17th for London Comic-Con at the RBC Center downtown. We are playing the after show, like we said, at the Ale House. We are also going to be at the Windsor Fan Experience / the Northern National. That's going to be 2 weeks after that, September 29th, 30th, and October 1st. That is at Casino Windsor, Augustus Tower, where Windsor Comic-Con used to be. So if you ever attended Windsor Comic-Con, same place, 3 days for that one. The Geeks & Co. will be there in force, big booth, Predators, lots of fun, come out and have a good time. You will not regret it. And hey, maybe you win some money at the old blackjack table or something. And
if your timing's right, you might actually get a dancing predator as well.
Ooh,
I know Cutie tried to catch it on video many times, but it's like the Sasquatch, right? Does it actually really exist?
Like the Sasquatch. And on that note, can we get the fuck out of here, please? I'm all done.
Yeah, I think that's going to be it, guys. Like I said earlier, I think it goes without saying, we had a great time still at FanEXPO. We got to see all of you guys. We got to hang out with
all the cool kids, man. Yeah.
Right? We got to hang out with our people.
Yeah.
I even with all the frustrations, that's really the positive that came out of all of this, is we got to hang out with everybody. We had an AC room, right? Like, there was nice fresh air in that room.
There was.
People got to come and hang out with us, and we actually got to That's the one thing, is usually when we have these crazy shows, we don't get to interact with the people a ton.
True.
Because it's so crazy. At this show, we actually got to interact with people a lot more. So there is that positive side to it as well. But I think that's going to have to be it for tonight, folks. If you want to catch us next time, we're going to be in London in 2 weeks. Then we're going to be in Windsor 2 weeks after that. We will be right back here live next week. I don't know what next week's show's about, though. Do you know?
I don't, but I still have a bunch of people that have messaged me wanting to be on the show, so we can absolutely book somebody, I'm sure.
Yeah, we'll figure something out. In the meantime, folks, make sure you stay geeky. We'll see you next week. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Geek Boutique Podcast. Like always, if you prefer to listen to us, you can find us on all major podcast platforms. Now, make sure you don't forget to click that like and subscribe button, as well as the notification bell to make sure you never miss anything.